Can I have your attention, please? Can I have your attention out there, Catawba fans? Just want to explain a couple things as we get ready to do the coaches show. One thing we will have tonight is we will have trivia after Coach Haynes' first segment. If you notice at your table, you have a whiteboard and a marker, and I will ask a trivia question. I will ask a trivia question at the end of Coach Haynes' segment, and the first table to put the correct answer on their whiteboard and hold it up for Maddox to recognize. Hopefully you all know Maddox Holzhauser. The first table that he recognizes with the correct answer will win a prize package for your table. I don't have any more. So that trivia will take place after the first segment. Thank you for turning out tonight here at City Tavern. Look forward to having you all season long here for the Catawba Coaches Show. You can catch it live on Memories Radio and also streaming on the Catawba YouTube channel, as well as I believe there's a link on the athletic website. So you can, if you can't be here, you can have a chance to tune in every week, but we hope you can be a part of this show. Every week I'll be here, and Ken Anderson, I'll be your host along with Coach Tyler Haynes. And we'll have players each week, and we'll have various guests from the Catawba Athletics throughout the season as it warrants. So again, thank you for joining us here at City Tavern. And we're about 8 minutes away from getting the show underway. And have a good time. Enjoy yourselves and be safe. We'll get things started here in about 8 minutes. You'll be the dean of coaches in the Southland Conference.
Yeah.
You only got 3 to be.
I know. Those other two are about to retire too, I think. So you're in line. The Mars Hill guy, I mean, he's got to be 75 years old. Yeah. Well, it is bright, isn't it?
Of course, he's been winning the last couple of years.
Yeah. I don't know what else you're gonna do in Mars Hill, North whatever town that is. But if you're not coaching ball, I don't know what you're gonna do. Go retire to Florida or something.
Shout out to you again.
Yeah, something, please. Yep. try to keep them to a minimum.
Do a thing for City Tavern, and I'll turn it to you.
Okay. Sounds great.
Talk about just general things last season and some things from the preseason.
Okay.
In the first segment, we'll be back in the last 5 minutes after we'll talk about David.
Okay. Perfect. I got soft check and cover back there.
You talk to them, they're up right up.
Okay. I'll say thank you. If you want to, you can.
I'll just say it before the show so everybody quiets down. You want to say it right now? I'll just scream it.
Oh, you can't. You do whatever you want. It's your baby. You got 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll do it at like 7:28. And say, thank y'all for coming to the show. Hope y'all enjoy it. And there you go.
We might have to wear sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't see the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
We'll just have to listen.
It is right. Just look in the middle. I'm gonna look at the TV screen. Yeah.
Thanks, I'm going to make you a star.
Yeah. I don't want to hear me speak. I want to hear somebody else speak. You are you going down to Davidson or no? Great. Good. Awesome. Thanks. They're pretty good. They lost their first one, but Georgetown's really good.
Big kick return and a fumble return for a touchdown.
Yeah. A couple big runs too. Georgetown did a couple like 60, 70-yard runs.
Just a quick question. How are Leroy Gracie, Jalen Henry, and Jordan Mitchell back from injury?
They're ready to go. He's good enough to get pictures taken. He's good to go. Yeah, they're all 100% healthy. She did. Thank you. Yeah, I try to hide it. Yeah, just trying to get it fitted right. Just make sure it's fitted.
I want to thank y'all for coming out. I hope y'all enjoy the show. Just keep y'all's voices down while the show's going on. Y'all have 2 minutes, so thank y'all. Hope y'all enjoy.
Oh, he's telling me we do have an intro. I didn't realize that.
Okay.
They're telling me I have an intro, so as soon as my intro's done, they're telling me I have an intro, so as soon as it plays, I'll be going. I guess I'm going to turn us on, so just be careful what you say.
Yep. You got it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of the Catawba Football Coaches Show here for the 2024 season. I'm your host, Ken Anderson. I'll be here each week with Coach Tyler Haynes. We'll have other coaches, players, and different guests throughout the season. And as we get started here, first quickly, I just want to thank City Tavern. They're located at 113 East Fisher Street here in historic downtown Salisbury. Great food, 40-plus beers on tap. They have ciders, specialty drinks, 20-plus TVs to watch your favorite team. Thanks to managers Drew and Heather, the bartender Tina doing a great job, their outstanding wait staff. Help make it a great experience here at City Tavern, and we thank them for sponsoring our Catawba Football Coaches Show again this season. Coach Haynes, I know you've got a lot of shout-outs to get going as we get underway here, so go ahead.
Oh, yeah, going into week one, have a couple thank yous. Just so many people here sponsoring us, and just want to thank you for your attendance. A couple special shout-outs. President Nelson and family in attendance. Always thankful to have President Nelson here. The Graham family for sponsoring this show. Athletic Director Michelle Cadigan, our entire athletic department. Maddox, JDs, and the entire development department. And most importantly, thank you to everyone here in attendance today. It's a great crowd. Thank you to everyone watching online, listening online. This is an exciting time for Catawba college football, and we're about to see what 118 is all about.
All right, Coach Haynes. I know the fans are keyed up here as you start season number 2 in your area here at Catawba. Before we talk about the upcoming game, let's talk a little bit about last season and some things in general. 5-6 last season, 2 wins to start the season, 3-2 after September. A tough stretch there in the middle, but you had a third quarter lead at Newberry, and they came back. You had a halftime lead at Limestone, and they came back. You gave Lenore Ryan quite a tussle there, so a lot of good games there in the second half of the season, but you did win 2 of the last 3 games, and things flipped. You had a great passing attack to start the season. The last 2 wins, 331 yards rushing against Barton, 183 rushing against Carson Newman in a dominating effort there. So as you look back at your first season at Catawba, how would you rate your team's performance?
I rated it as it was a growing season. You know, we didn't really know each other very well. We didn't know the expectations. We didn't know. We were just trying to feel our way through it. We attacked every single day the very best we could, have a great staff that prepared every single day. Our guys bought in and listened. And, you know, we were relatively young, and that's not an excuse. It's just kind of what it is. And I think as you see, as we continue to get older and develop as a program, some of those tight games that we lost last year all of a sudden turn into wins.
So what were you most pleased with from your team last season?
Their buy-in. You know, again, we're all getting to know each other, and, you know, it's a brand-new staff. We didn't really recruit many of those guys, and they just kind of trusted us, and we instilled a new culture of accountability, mental and physical toughness, and trust, and that's what we did. We preached it every single day. They listened, and we went out there. Again, we want to be better than 5-6. That's not the goal, but that's what we were last year. We look forward to building on it.
And what have you worked on during spring practice and fall practice? What have you worked on to help you achieve greater success this season?
Everything. Everything. It starts in our building. What that means to me is it starts in that locker room. And we established what I call a leadership committee, where it was about 12 guys that were voted on by the team and by the coaches to come together, and we read books together. We met weekly. We talked about everything from what we're wearing that week, game day, what we need to do better in the weight room, practice. Everything was on the table, because I believe in ownership and leadership from within the program. So we did that, we instilled that, and a couple of these guys will be speaking today. But I think the best teams that I've ever been a part of as a player or a coach, the leadership comes from within, and I think we've started to develop that.
And it wasn't your first year as a head coach, but in your first year as the head coach at Catawba, was it easier or more difficult than you thought coming in?
It was easier, I'd say, with an asterisk by it, easier. Nothing's easy. It was easier because Catawba loves football. Catawba loves athletics. Catawba's a great place. I've worked at some places where maybe it's not such a great place. I'm still very thankful for those jobs. But when you're surrounded by great people, great administration, the support, the donors, the board of trustees, the town of Salisbury, things are easier here because people are all on board with getting this program heading in the right direction. I'm just very thankful for it. It has a family atmosphere. I look forward to coming to work every single day for these guys. And it was easier than I thought because of the support we had.
Now, there's been quite a few coaching changes in the South Atlantic Conference after last season. Does that make things a little more difficult for you and your coaching staff as you prepare for this season and the teams you're going to face?
Good question. I think it's just a big old question mark, right? So brand new offenses, brand new defenses, schematics, brand new recruiting styles. Nobody knows us. No, we don't know them yet. So it's going to be unique. I don't know if it's going to be tougher or easier. Some of those coaches that moved on were promoted and got good jobs because they were good coaches. Some had rough seasons. So we're going to find out here soon.
And were there any changes to your coaching staff this offseason?
One, and again, very thankful for the staff we have. I think staff retention is so important in all realms, but especially in college football. We're recruiting these guys, and we're looking these families in the eyes saying, we're going to be here for your son, or grandson, whatever it is. So the fact that we just had one change at our cornerbacks position, we hired Bryce Suber, who was a defensive coordinator down in Florida and has a lot of ties throughout the SAC region at Newberry and some of these other places. So Bryce Suber is our most recent hire.
All right, Coach, we'll have you back at the end of the show to talk about this coming game Saturday night at Davidson. But we talked about the coaching staff, so let's get a couple of those guys up here. We're going to talk to offensive coordinator Jordan Sofcheck. And after that, we're going to talk to co-defensive coordinator Connis Hubbard. So we'll get Coach Sofcheck up here. And Coach Sofcheck, in addition to being the coordinator and coaching the quarterbacks, came to Catawba. He was an assistant head coach and offensive coordinator at St. Anselm in New Hampshire for 5 years, 2 years at Brown University, coached at Dayton as a passing game coordinator. And Coach, you played at Wingate. And what position did you play at Wingate?
I played wide receiver.
So when did you know that you wanted to become a football coach?
Long time ago. I was really fortunate growing up that my father, my dad got to coach me in all the sports I played, and football was one of them. And pretty much since I started playing football at 8 years old and had that relationship with him, and got to see him in that light, I knew that was something that I wanted to do. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher at heart. I was an education major at Wingate. Coaching is teaching. And I just love that opportunity to teach and coach those guys and help them along. I think one of the biggest things that a coach does is, he helps take young men or young women, if you're coaching young women, to a place that they can't take themselves. So that was something that was afforded to me from an early age and something I knew I always wanted to do. And
where along your coaching career did you cross paths with Coach Haynes to lead him to put you on his staff? Yeah,
we didn't cross paths, but I was under the coaching carousels and the coaching world and the tight web that is. I had heard of him and had seen some of the success he has had in the past. And, when I talked to him for the first time, I remember our first conversation that we had in regards to the opportunity here. We talked a lot about other things than just football. So that fired me up. He's a family man, a man of faith, as am I. And that connection was something that really excited me about this opportunity. And, philosophically, a lot of alignment there. I think that's a huge thing. One thing like he had talked about, there's a ton of alignment from the top down. Right, the entire school is in alignment, with what everybody is trying to do. And there's alignment from the top down all the way down into the athletic program down and then within the staff. So he fired me up my conversations with him early on, and we see eye to eye on a lot, and I'm excited to be here with him.
I'm sure that makes it pretty fun to coach.
Yeah.
And now what goes into putting an offensive game plan together? As the offensive coordinator, how does that all come about through the week? Do you script plays to use at the beginning of the game? Do you use analytics for down and distance? Do you use your team's strengths and maybe what the defense is going to give you? How does that all come together?
Yeah, so it starts early in the week. Basically, when we finish up that last game, our staff is working immediately on getting the film in from the next opponent and kind of putting an overall plan together. Really what we're looking at is what is this next team that we're playing about structurally and philosophically. We try to see what they are as a whole and what they're doing on their side of the ball. And then really it's pretty much the same for us every week. So we have a system in place that we believe in. We have a system in place, right, that has answers for, we believe anything and everything we are going to see. So when we're looking at an opponent, right, we try to stay on the offensive, right? So it's not a defensive mentality, it's an offensive mentality. We talk to our guys all the time about we are going to stay on the attack. So what is the defense giving us Okay, what are they giving up, and where can we attack them where they are vulnerable? So within our system, we believe that we have kind of an all-encompassing answer to that and for whatever they're trying to do. And then to your point, we are trying to get the ball to our best players, right, in space. One of them sitting back there, and we try to get the ball to six a lot, and our best players, and we try to stay creative with that. And we have an answer, right, especially in the quarterback room, for anything and everything we're going to get given to them. So there's a lot of film that gets looked at from what we're about to play and kind of who we're playing and that identity of who we're playing. And then it's about us. We continue to talk to our guys about that weekly. Just the beginning of this week, our message to the offense was it's about us, and it's always going to be about us. They have to stop us. Okay, so we got to stay on the offensive, and what in our system can we exploit what they're giving up, all right, within the realm of how we like to play this game. And that does revolve around, getting the ball to our best players in space and spreading it out to them pretty regularly.
Okay, now you're down there on the sidelines during the game.
Yeah.
But you can't see it all down there on the sidelines. So who's up in the coaching booth giving you some input, and what are they watching for?
Yeah, so we have an awesome staff in general, right? Our offensive staff, I lean on those guys heavy. It's by committee, right? Nobody's taking any credit there. I lean on our entire staff, right? So upstairs in the booth for us, we have Coach Pinion and Coach Dupree, who's here tonight. Shout out to Coach Dupree. They're kind of my eyes in the sky. They help me out. What we're doing from the booth standpoint, right, that bird's eye view for us, they're giving kind of an overall commentary of the game. They're going to help me out on, hey, you got the first down here. Get on to your first down call. Or, hey, we're short on this play. Ball's on the left hash, things of that nature. And then what I rely on them heavily for is kind of a debrief after each series. So after each series, right, hopefully after coming 6 points in the end zone, right, we kind of get together and they kind of bring me back through the series. And we talk about what we saw. Did what our feedback from our players, match with what they're saying. So we rely heavily on our players as well. They're the ones playing. We put a lot of onus on them. We put a lot of trust in them, and their feedback for us immediately after a series is something we hopefully are in agreement with what's going on upstairs. So Coach Pinion, Coach Dupree, they do a great job. Coach Collins does a great job on the sideline for us, as well as Coach Thompson kind of getting us in the best scenario possible.
All right, Coach Sofcheck, thanks for joining us, and call a great game on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, now we're going to get Coach Connis Hubbard up here. Connis is the co-defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. Now, a lot of you guys may remember Connis. He was a 2004 Catawba graduate. He was something with the transition. We'll have to get that ironed out. But Connis was a 4-year standout, 169 tackles, 19.5 sacks, 50 tackles for loss. This is his second stint as an assistant at Catawba. He's had other stops at Quincy University, Lock Haven, and Southwest Minnesota State. Now, Coach Hubbard, the first question I have is, does having all those credentials, being a former All-American at Catawba, carry any extra weight with the players you're coaching?
With the players, I don't know. I don't know if it carries any extra weight. But I will say that the experience allows me to speak to them on the level. I know exactly what it's like being in the classrooms. I know what it's like being in Salisbury. I can talk to them a little bit more intimately about their day-to-day lives here. As far as on the field, I just try to impart the little bit of wisdom that I do have to them best I can.
So what was the biggest thing you learned, either as a player or a young coach, that you employ now in your coaching?
I've learned a lot, but probably I would say the number one thing was that understanding no one's trying to make a mistake. When I was a young coach, I took things personally. I felt like that sometimes those mistakes were directly upon me and directly upon them, and I reacted harshly. And now I think over the years I've kind of taken a step back and understand that nobody wants to make a mistake. Everybody wants to be as good as they can possibly be under the lights. So let's teach. Let's talk, let's teach, let's figure out where the mistakes are happening and how can we be better teachers amongst our players rather than just reacting as much to what we see sometimes on the field. That's probably the area where I've grown the most.
All right, sounds like a great philosophy. And now, besides playing and coaching here previously, what was the connection that led Coach Haynes to bring you back to Catawba?
Long, sordid story, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Gentleman at Shepherd University named Luke Wright and I worked together at Quincy. And like I said, there was an opportunity, interviewed for a position there. got a chance to meet up with Coach Haynes. He was on the committee, talked to him, spoke with him, and didn't happen to get that job, but we stayed in contact, and the rest is kind of history. Catawba came calling him, he came calling me, and I was blessed to get back to Salisbury.
And I know a point of emphasis in the offseason was bolstering that defensive line, so what can we look for from them this season?
Hopefully having fun. Number one, that's the number one ingredient, having fun and want to. We're going to work hard. We're going to play hard. You're going to see a group of guys that go out there and effort, attitude. Those are the things that we're looking for. We hope that the numbers reflect how hard they've been working on and off the field. But number one, you're going to see a group of guys that go out there and work each play. They're going to be technicians at their craft and, do it the best they can.
Okay, and one last quick question. You've been a regular here at the Coaches Show throughout last season. I need to know what's your favorite menu item here at City Tavern.
Oh, man, favorite menu item. I'm going to go with the shrimp tacos myself, shrimp tacos.
Okay, pretty good. Thanks, Coach Hubbard, for joining us here.
Appreciate you.
And meantime, I realized that I forgot to ask the trivia question after the first segment. So let's get that out of the way now. Get your whiteboards and markers ready. The last meeting between Catawba and Davidson occurred in 2015, and the Catawba Indians won that game by 2 touchdowns. Now, I'm going to give you a hint that there were no field goals, no missed extra points, and no safeties. So what was the final score of that game? Put that on your whiteboard, hold it up. The first correct answer that Maddox recognizes will win a prize pack for your table. So made the math easy. 2 touchdown difference. Get your answers in there. So now let's talk to a couple of the players that are going to be key for Catawba in this week's game against Davidson as they get set to take on the Wildcats. And up first is Bo Pryor. It's Bo time. There's a different connotation here when you talk Catawba football when it's Bo time. So we have Bo Pryor. And Bo, just want to list a couple accomplishments from last season. These were all team highs last year. He made 73 receptions for 885 yards, 7 touchdowns. Those 73 catches tied the school single-season record. Your big game was against Mars Hill, 8 catches, 162 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But one thing I have to ask you, all those touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, came in the first 4 games of the season. So is Coach Sofcheck making some adjustments out there to figure out to get you the ball in some different places out there, or do you have to do some things different running routes to make sure you're in the right place?
I think it's a little bit of both. Coach Sofcheck and I have been talking. He said he's going to find ways to get me the ball, and I trust in him to get me the ball. And I trust in my quarterback as well.
Now, in fairness, the team had more success rushing the ball late in the season. Defenses kind of keyed on you and quarterback Preston Brown and took that away. But I'm guessing you don't really care about those individual stats as long as your team gets the W.
Yes, sir. 100% on that. Yes, sir. All I want to do is win.
Now, you've also been a pretty dynamic return man. You've got quite a few kick returns. So teams are now kicking the ball away from you and not giving you a chance to make a return. So if the coaches adjusted, are we still going to see you back there returning kicks, or are they going to let you rest and be ready to go on offense?
Oh, no, I'm going to still be back there on kick return and punt return.
Now, is there anything you do back there to try to fool the kicker or the punter on where you're going to be so that they can get ready to kick it one way and then all of a sudden you switch and they're kicking it to you like they didn't hope to?
Sometimes. Coach Vellucci, he plans out the game plan, and he talks to me before the first kickoff, and we talk about stuff like that. So, yeah, we kind of do stuff like that sometimes.
And I'm sure you and Preston Brown and a lot of other receivers were around during the summer getting some extra work in. What are some of the things that you work on away from a regular practice but working on your own? What are those things that you guys work on to be even better?
Me and Preston, we probably you call it routes on there, where we can get that connection when in doubt, he know I'm going to be open on that route or whatnot. I'll say we do that a bunch of times. So it's really like a whole year in one. A bunch of routes, just me and Preston, just getting that connection down.
Okay, and then this is Coach Haynes' second season here at Catawba. So second time going through spring practice, fall practice. What was different here in the offseason in year 2 than in year 1?
I would say we got more players now, so they kind of twisted around a little bit to where we doing the stuff that we need to be doing to be ready for the season.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. You've been a regular here at the Coaches Show. What's your favorite menu item here at City Tavern?
I'll say the buffalo chicken sandwich, add bacon on it, and add cheese as well. That's my favorite.
Plenty of good things to pick from. So letting these guys help you out, picking out some good food here. So let's get your partner in here. Let's get QB7 in here. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, Bo, for joining us. Let's get QB7, Preston Brown. And what a first year he had for Catawba at quarterback last season. Passed for over 2,500 yards, 19 touchdown passes to only 5 interceptions. Had the big game early in the season against Livingstone, setting the school record with 6 touchdown passes in that game. Threw for over 300 yards 4 times on the season. So that was a pretty good season. But Preston, I got to ask you, just like Bo, 14 of those 19 touchdown passes came in those first 4 games, only 5 in the last 7. But we know, talking to Coach Sofcheck and hearing the game plan, that's because the defense made their adjustments. They weren't going to let you get the ball to Bo Pryor. They were going to take some of those receivers away. In fairness, Jordan Mitchell, your deep threat, suffered an injury late in the season. But it's a matter of you just adjusting to what the defense gives you, and that's what you look for in this offense, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Just like Sofcheck was saying, the offense is based off of where's the defense weak at. So I think I've done a better job of figuring where that is on whatever play we run and being able to have different variations based off of that. So I think going into this year, it's been a lot more clear understanding that where me and Coach Sofcheck are on the same page. It's at times where he calls plays and I'm already kind of signaling on my own. Just us building our relationship on the field and off the field, just so that when we're on the field, I'm an extension of him out there.
Now, you completed 56% of your passes last season. I know when we talked last year sometimes during the Coaches Show, you're really working to improve that. That bothers you that your completion percentage isn't higher. So what have you been working on, some of the things you focused on in the offseason to improve your skills and hopefully improve that percentage?
It's been a culmination of a lot of things. I think just to start off, like I said, just understanding the playbook down to a T. I feel like I had a good grasp on it now, but even to this point now, I really feel like I could read it like the back of my hand. So that way when we're getting signals, I don't have to really think about what's being called. I can necessarily look at the defense and find those weak spots and be able to exploit those. And then just overall, just working over the summer, making sure I'm accurate with the football, giving guys chances to be able to make plays, and just finding a guy every time because every play has an answer. So it's my job to figure out what that is.
Now, you mentioned the playbook. It was Coach Haynes' first year trying to get everybody acclimated on board. I'm sure we didn't see the entire playbook. So have there been more things added to that playbook, and the offense going to be even more spectacular this season?
Well, the element of surprise is finding out, so I don't want to spoil too much on that.
Yeah, he keeps you guys in line. You guys don't give away any secrets here. But I asked Bo about practice. What changed for you in practice from the first season under Coach Haynes to getting ready here for year number 2? What changed and what was harder or easier for you?
I just think now being able to prepare, kind of like my story of not have played in about 4 years since high school. So being able to get back on the field and have some experience of being able to understand the speed, understand schemes, and figuring out what teams are trying to do to take away from us. Being able to really hone in on that, and then, like I said, in offseason, I just grind. I work extremely hard. I don't, even when I don't feel like it, I go out there. So I just think that consistency in my preparation is what will allow me to be successful this season.
I know folks look at the quarterback of a team as the leader. What do you do specifically when you get out on the field, maybe get your team in the huddle? Is there anything that you do specifically to show that you're in command, or do they just know from your actions in practice and all throughout that you're the guy in control of this offense?
I think, like I said, it's been a culmination of a lot of things. I think just building a relationship with each teammate and understanding that this guy may respond to this that way and this guy may respond in a different way. Being able to understand those different levels and just knowing how to talk to people, letting them know that, yes, I am your quarterback, but I'm also your brother. So I look at those guys as family, and I treat them just as family, so they know, just like brothers and sisters, like we need to get on somebody that's not me necessarily judging your character. It's just me calling you up to where I know you can play too. So
you kind of hinted at accountability there. Is it really the whole team holding each other accountable that makes the team so successful and makes it fun to play with each other?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you get on the football field, it's never anything personal. I think any time that you feel like you're getting called out, it's just because a guy's seeing that this is the level that I know you can play at, and you're not playing at that right now. So maybe you just need a reminder. And like I said, building those relationships and understanding how those two people work, it allows that approach to be a lot more easier and smoother as far as just being able to get guys to play at the level that you know that they can be at.
So what are you most excited for looking ahead to this season?
A lot. Just being back on the field, a true love of the game of football. So I enjoyed the whole process of it. I necessarily couldn't even say I'm ready for the season. I just take one day at a time. So I think me and Coach Soptek talked about it a lot, just attack the day. So don't worry about look too far ahead. Don't ever worry about the past too much. Just kind of figure out where you need to do for the day and be able to put yourself in the best position for that.
Okay, well, I know the offense is in great hands with you back there at quarterback, so go out and have a great game on Saturday night.
Absolutely.
Quarterback Preston Brown. Now we'll bring Coach Tyler Haynes back up, and we'll talk about some things they've been doing to get ready for this opening game. Season opener on Saturday night at Davidson as they open their new stadium. We'll be on the air on Memories Radio with pregame at 6:30 for the 7 p.m. kickoff. And, Coach, are you pleased with your team's progress during the spring and fall practice leading up?
Yeah, we're excited about where we're at. We're proud of the work we've put in. We talk a lot about, you're not just going to win on Saturdays. You're going to win every single day, every single meeting, every single practice, every single lift. Win that day. And I think we put on, a good spring ball. We capped it off with a good spring game, lead into a short fall camp. But we're happy with where we're at right now.
Now, we talk about your offense takes what the defense gives you. But you had the passing game working early in the season. The rushing game really came on later in the season because that's what the defense gave you. But is the improvement in your offense kind of tied to the experience and continuity developed along that offensive line?
Yeah, it has. I think, again, when you're a young team and we return as many starters as we do, those reps accumulate, and you learn from every single situation that you're in. I think not just in the O-line, but I think program-wide. If you have guys that are used to playing the game and being in certain situations in big-time games, they use that. Good parts of that, bad parts of that, learn from it, grow from it, and use it for the next time. So the O-line's come a long way. We have a lot of experienced guys up there. And, to your point about the offense, we take what they give us. They want to take away the pass, we're going to run, vice versa. We're explosive everywhere we are. So they can pick their poison on that one.
Now, Leroy Bracey's return should bolster your solid running game that you have back there with Queese Williams, L.J. Turner, and Malcolm Wilson. But who has stepped up at wide receiver to join Bo Pryor and Jordan Mitchell, who comes back from that injury? He's kind of your deep threat that opens things up underneath. Who's stepping up to join those two guys?
Yeah, like you said, those two guys have been here a long time, have had a lot of production, and we look forward to seeing what they do this fall. We got in the portal for certain positions. One of those was receiver. So you're going to see some new names, one of which is a local guy that we're always going to recruit locally. We're going to hit Rowan County hard. We're going to keep the best Rowan County and Salisbury kids home, playing in front of their families. Is Amari MacArthur, a transfer from that team over in Hickory. We brought him back home, and he's going to be one of the names you see. You're going to see another local guy, and Mike Jeter, a Salisbury High kid playing in the slot, kind of emulating Bo Pryor to the best of his ability and the future of our program. But there's a lot of guys on the edge. Another guy with the last name Linder, a 6'4" outside receiver from South Carolina. We have a lot of weapons out there, mainly through the portal.
Now let's flip over to the defensive side. Another guy coming back from injury that was a big loss to your defense was Jalen Hinton at linebacker. He'll help bolster the linebacking core, and that's a help to the secondary as well. But I think a big focus in the offseason you mentioned was on the defensive line. So who's going to be the key guys up front there? Yeah,
excited to have Jalen Hinton back. And I guess when you get your picture on a board, there's some high expectations for you. So we love Jalen, and we think the world of him, and we're glad he's healthy and he'll be out there playing for us. Again, not going to throw a bunch of names out there, but one place after evaluating our season, we had some strengths, we had some weaknesses. One glaring weakness was our defensive line, and by no fault of their own, they were given everything they had. We just weren't deep enough. We weren't recruiting well enough. We weren't retaining well enough. So we went out and we signed 6 or 7 elite freshmen, high school to-be freshmen kids, as well as 3 or 4 portal guys. So it's going to be a completely different defensive front.
Now, what must your team do this week to be successful on the road at Davidson?
Be true to ourselves. Not let the moment get too big for us. Again, we know about the stadium they're opening. We know it's FCS. It's a team right down the road. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff under lights. It's going to be a great crowd. We need to focus on us. We have all we need within our program. We just need to go out there and execute, and we'll be fine.
Okay, and any particular concerns for this Davidson team?
They're a good football team. A lot of concerns. We know what they're going to do. They're going to line up and try to run the ball at you. They're a triple option team. They have a 240-pound running back, a fullback that is going to get the ball 30 times right at us. And if we're stopping him for 1s and 2s and 3s, we'll be all right. If he's getting 6, 7s, and 8s, that's going to be a long day.
Okay, so tune in Saturday night here on Memories Radio as Catawba takes on Davidson, 6:30 pregame, 7 p.m. kickoff right here on Memories Radio, WSAT. And, Coach, you always like to close it out, get the crowd enthused, and get them ready for the game. So go ahead and give it our usual closeout here on the Coach's Show.
Thank you for everyone being here. Thank you for everyone listening online. We love you. We're going to go out there, give it the very best ability we can. Hope to see you on Saturday. We got a Cat U on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll see you right back here next Thursday at City Tavern.